on.
No, events are great. Yeah, man, I just wanted to get you on. I don't know if you've seen the other ones, but we've just been just picking riders' brains, man, just talking to them about, just training and racing and what they're doing. So the first one I did was Sam, and we're just sort of talking coach and stuff, which was cool. And then Luke, we sort of went into a little bit of what he did in the past. But obviously, man, you're fucking on fire at the moment. So I just wanted to grab you and have a chat. And so good, man. I was so happy for you when you won. Like, it's dude, what a weight off your shoulders it is when you cross that line, isn't it? It's just like to win that sort of event. But yeah, I'll let you explain it. How was it?
Yeah, it was sick. I think it was, the race doesn't finish till the finish line. 22, I kind of came back to the sport, and I think I was like a bit spoiled. Like, was just riding really good. The first straight suited me really well at like Lonnie, and then was leading the main to the last corner. Bodie got me, and then didn't win. And then it was like the following year, some pretty bad injuries, and then like coming back in 24 again, like a heap of injuries. But then came into Perth like super prepped and ready, and then more or less that one definitely hurt a lot more because it was like I felt like I'd done all the work. I wasn't just gifted anything, and then Ollie got me again, and then didn't get it, and then I was just kind of like feeling good again for MacArthur, but it was just putting all that the past behind. And then when I'm actually leading, I was just like, oh crap, come on, please, not a third time.
All the planets have to align, right? That's the hard thing too, man, because anything can happen on the day, right? You're putting all this work in, you're feeling fast, like, you're ticking all the boxes, and then you get there and it's like anything can happen. It's bonkers.
I say so often to, see parents, riders I coach, I think BMX is so stupidly underrated in like how, like how, I guess, perfect you have to be in so many different things. Like, we have the reaction time of, like any professional drag racer. We've got, the strength of most power lifters and whatnot.
Yep.
We then have the, technical and skills of like a, ballerina or whatever.
Yep.
And we've got to do that with 7 other riders that all hate you for 35 seconds around the track.
Yep.
And try to finish first. It's definitely chaos.
Yeah, I was writing to something the other day about the same thing. It's just like you got all these elements, and then you got 7 other lunatics trying to beat to the finish line. It's it's chaos, man. But dude, so happy. Like, to tick that box is awesome. I got it years ago, but and it's funny. And I was thinking about this the other day, right? So I won it in 2000. That's how old I am. But so prior to that, I don't think any Victorians won it, but I think Lee Egan was the one prior to me winning it, right? So no one in Victoria won it before that that I can think of. Prove me wrong. Sorry, guys. But then from then on, so I won in 2000. The next Victorian to win it was Brandon in Perth, right?
2018.
And then since then, you guys have just gone off because Max won it, right? Bodie won it. You've won it.
Yeah, but Bodie won. As Bodie's won it twice.
Yep.
Max won the super class one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then yourself.
And, then now myself. Yeah.
Awesome. Like I reckon there's that little generation you guys had that just sort of pushed each other along, and you're all sort of all took it to the next level. So good.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So good.
I think like you always kind of rise to your competition.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had a good nugget of riders that just sort of all pushed each other along. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, like me, Andrew Hughes, and Josh McLean are probably the only 3 98 boys that are left.
Yeah, okay.
Still like racing at the top. But like, Matty White, as you know, remember, even like now he's coming back, like racing amateur, like still so fast.
He's looking all right, isn't he?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Like he made the main at Lilydale. He probably shouldn't have got on line 8, but he's just getting back to. I think his part of his problem is just racing again, right? He's just got to get back into race mode and get used to having bigger bodies and fast dudes around him again. And
I think I do remember like him, Jay Beasley, and Josh McLean were all like growing up together when we were 14, 15.
Yeah.
I remember those boys were, 2-3 sizes bigger than me at the time.
Yeah.
And they definitely loved pushing their weight around.
Dude, I remember when you were 14, I reckon,
Mm.
and I was talking to your dad after a race, and he's like, I think you won. I can't remember what it was, state titles or something you won. I'm like, that's awesome, man. I said, man, we just got to get him a bit stronger now. And your dad lost his mind. He's like, he's only 14. I go, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, it's coming. He'll get stronger. But it's all right. We'll just get you a bit stronger. It's fine. Like he's like, he's only 14. I'm like, I know. It's fine. But, yeah, the good old days. But no, we had a good crew back then. It was really good. Bunch of everyone was pushing each other. So who's doing your stuff now with regards to training? Are you have you got a coach, or are you training yourself, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I work with myself and like Nathan Glub.
Yep.
He helps me out a lot. More as just like a sounding board.
Yeah.
Like I do all my scheduling and stuff like that, but there's not too much that I don't. If I'm ever unsure, Glubby's always my man. Just ring up and we'll have a chat. Work through it. I think like getting pretty old now for a BMXer. I've been training full time since I was 15, 16, on and off, I guess, during COVID. Like really, really lucky to be able to work with like so many good coaches over the years. But I feel like at the moment, with all that knowledge and experience, it's like I think I know what works best for me.
For sure.
It's just making sure that I've got the discipline and I guess put the work in, I guess.
The hardest thing I found programming myself was I'd question stuff all the time, and then you know yourself, like when you go to the gym and you're programming your own programs and you've got the ability to adjust stuff on feel. Like sometimes you get a bit lazy. It comes off as lazy because you're like, oh, I don't feel like this today, so I'm not going to do it. But if someone's written you a program and this is what you're doing today, you just go in and do it. That's where I found I struggled a little bit self-programming and really worked best when I had someone just going, this is your program, mate, this is what you're doing.
Yeah. I definitely feel that too. I think, with our sport needing to be so, I guess, more power and speed dominated. I use like a Vitrov, so like a velocity tracker.
Tendo machine, Tendo unit.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
It keeps me accountable. Like there'll definitely be days that like I'm warming up on the deadies and, I'm thinking, I'm going to have to cut a set or two short and then, end up, hitting like a PB speed or something like that. Phew. That's good. I think, for sprints and gym and like general track is not too bad. There's like the off-season like conditioning. I think that's the biggest, like when you've wrote down 8 to 10 full laps, minimal breaks or whatever, and you're throwing up. You're just like, I should give up now. But it's just like I think that's like another really good thing about training and working with yourself. It's it's another barrier to be like pushing through. For sure. Because you're in charge of your own destiny. You're not just following, I guess, not blindly, but following what someone else is saying. You said you were going to do it. Like, let's put in the work, and that can be tough.
Oh yeah, man. I can relate because I lived in Geelong and pretty much just trained by myself for 10 years. Like. And I had Ben Price down there, but he was sort of hit and miss and didn't like training with me too much, so he'd go off and do his own thing. But training by yourself, man, it's a different animal. Doing what you said you were going to do, turning up to do your sprints and doing all the sets instead of cutting it short and all those. I remember doing sprints in the rain before nationals. It's raining. It's like, got to do sprints. This is what we're doing. So man, it's horrible. What I've just written a bunch of questions, mate, so I'm going to fire away at you. So what does your week look like? So obviously, you like you said, you're programming yourself. What sort of your week looks like? How many times you hitting the gym? Your sprint sessions? Hopefully you don't mind me picking your brain too much. No,
not at all. Like, I think some people get a bit surprised. I know some people can be a bit secret squirrel, but I'm always pretty open book. I think in off season, I'll typically three even maybe 4 days a week at the gym.
Yep.
And that's just more just to keep myself fit and healthy, because I'll probably, especially like over Christmas or whatever, there's no tracks open or can't get to a gate night or whatever. And just to break it up, just do something different, like, kind of hate the gym by the end of it, but be really missing my bike and the gates and the sprints by the end of that block. But yeah, I'd say, off season, I'm looking at like 3 to 4 days a week at the gym. And then in season, 2 days a week at the gym. I then, depending like if I'm more in a strength, power or speed phase, I really only do maybe sprints once a week.
Yep.
And that'd probably be only during like a more like in a tapering and like come into an event, and that'd be like some downhill or like some real overspeed sprints.
Yep.
I think for me, like growing up in Whoop Whoop, my skill development, and just overall track speed has always been pretty rubbish.
Yeah.
So the past few years, I guess I've more just focused on, there's in my head, I think that, doing a 20-meter sprint and then just chilling for me after I've spent, 15 years growing up in the sticks, just doing sprints and not doing any gates or track or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think I get a lot more out of, doing a 20-meter sprint into like a pump lap or into like, 1 or 2 straights or something like that, where I'm kind of just working on skills.
Yeah, for sure. What that's interesting that you're not doing. So you're pretty much relying on sort of gate sessions for a lot of your sprints.
Yeah. Like gate sessions, and then like say at the moment on a Monday I'll do 6 to 8, just about 20 to 25 meter off a sprint block. Just kind of focusing on that, like acceleration, good technique, good 1, 2, 3. And then I'll, like, say, been doing out Browns Plains, which, like, their last straight, how it's set up, is like a nice little sprint spot. And, like, after the finish line, so I'll sprint to the finish line, nice little sprint. And then their last 2 straights backwards are quite tight and techy. So it's just really good for me to just be some days or some efforts I'll be more focused on building pure speed. Some efforts I'll be just focused on trying to only do manuals, or as manuals as much as I can in one manual, or just jump through, or do a gap, do a triple, or just do something different.
Yeah. I guess part of it's changed too in the fact that, that tracks are a lot more technical these days as well. And then I guess having technical ability when you're a little bit fatigued towards the end of the track, because they're so technical, right? Especially the tracks are getting longer, jumps are getting bigger, more technical, lippy. So I guess the focus is sort of switching now, right? Because you've only, you pedal to the first jump these days, really, and then there's not a lot of pedaling after that, right? I
mean, everyone's coming into Oceanas prepping, with that as their focus. More or less here at Sleeman's, we've got 4 pedals to the bottom of the hill, 1 pedal at the bottom of the hill, 1 pedal in between first and second jump. Some people are getting 1 pedal into between second and third jump. Coming out of first corner, there's probably only like 3 pedals, and then you can't pedal down the second straight, and then there's another 3 or 4 pedals out of second corner. You can't pedal again, and then you get like another 3 or 4 pedals out of last corner. And it's just all kind of skills. So if you got the skills and the track flow and track speed, like say Sleeman's use track, that's where I think you'll see, and like, I can, like MacArthur is the polar opposite. I think, first straight is non-stop pedals, second straight is non-stop pedals, third straight is, your techie kind of straight, and same as last straight. But that's where you see, I guess, different riders kind of excel, I think, at like Sleeman's to MacArthur sometimes.
Would you switch up sprints leading into that race? Like compared to MacArthur, you'd switch it up a little bit compared to Sleeman?
Yeah, definitely. So like with Sleeman's as a focus, doing a lot more track sessions, just trying to be as comfortable as I can on my bike. Because, Sleeman's has always been a big track, and I think big technical track, and I think it's never been a track that I think suits my riding style.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've never really rode super well here. I did okay when there was the World Cup here, but I've never really left an event here and gone, that was absolutely everything I had. The whole day went perfect, and that might have been like getting out in the quarters of the World Cup. But yeah, I think like both days at the World Cup when I went out in the quarters, the first day I just made a silly mistake down second straight, and then on the second day I was cramping that hard before the quarter, like I couldn't even stand, and it was a whole schmozzle. So I've never left here going, okay, I did everything to my best. And I think that's always been maybe a little bit to do with the track and just not being comfortable on the track. Yeah. So that's why I'm up here so early. To try to get some extra track time in and give myself a good opportunity.
It does make a difference, right? Like I've never, I never did that. I never went to tracks early. Yeah. And then I think as I got older, it started to bite me in the butt a little bit. Like I felt like I could turn up to a track and give it 3 or 4 laps and I'm good to go. But like I said, man, track's getting harder and more technical. Like it really pays to get in there and do the extra work, right?
Yeah, that's it. And I think you see it a lot more now. Not that it I'd love to know the exact percentages. Oh, sorry, my thumb was covering the camera. But you do see a lot more people at World Cups now when they are, I guess, like home World Cups and whatnot. You do see people do a little bit better than maybe at the not home World Cup.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason, right? Well, it's like the French guys get 1, 2, 3 at the Olympics.
Yeah. Like I think those 3 are crazy good riders, but they definitely
rode that track a couple times.
Be putting much on there. Probably spent the most hours at that tracking facility. Putting in the work.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hey, let's go back and talk about your gym stuff. So so more of your off season. You say you're about 3 or 4 sessions in the gym. What's going on in there? So let's go back and talk more about your like a pre-season gym session. I used to describe it as my stones and pebbles. You keep your big major lifts as your stones, and then you swap out your pebbles. Have you got something along those lines where you have like a big lift that you focus on a lot, and then you sort of interchange accessories?
Say offs, it's so weird because with BMX we almost don't have an off season.
Exactly.
It's like nationals. We had nationals. Then from nationals I had. I think it was 4 or 5 weeks until Grands.
Yeah.
And then I had 5 weeks until track tap. Yeah. And then it was 3 weeks. So 8 weeks to Oceanas, or 9 weeks to Oceanas. So it's makes it really, really difficult. And then I was kind of, had a bit of a back issue, or I've always had a bit of stuffy back. So leading into nationals, I had a little herniation in one of my
lumbar spine.
Yeah. So just trying to work through that, getting in. Then after natties, I was pretty keen to just keep grinding until Grands, and I was kind of pushing through the back issues, which might not have been the best idea. And then I ended up injuring my foot 2 or 3 weeks before Grands, and my foot was that swollen I couldn't even put my clip shoes on. So that kind of forced me into 3 weeks off. I raced Grands, and then and then people are love to tell me how crap my gates were, but I was I had no idea how much pain it was just to stand on that foot, let alone try to power out the gate.
And you're there already too, hey? What do you do?
Yeah, and then then I kind of just ended up having a lot of time, another 2 weeks completely off there, and then I was kind of oh crap, I need to start working straight away for Oceanas, I guess. So I kind of just went straight into my I would say it's off I'd say pre-season prep, like more strength phase, and then I just kind of just focus on just trying to build as much muscle as possible. So lots of like say, I will typically have I'll go into like say this strength season or like strength block that I did. I was doing 3 gym sessions, so I'd only do typically like 1 plyo in each of the sessions. I'm just mixing it up with whether like 1 would be a double, kind of more strength focused plyometric, so like a weighted jump or something.
Yep.
And then the next day was just like a really low amplitude one, like skipping.
Yep.
And then the like next day one would be like a single leg, like bounding.
Yep.
One. And then I'll typically have one for 2 of the sessions. Well, one of the sessions mainly just like the plyo, and then a bit of core, and then just some stability. So just like jumping onto a Bosu ball or something like that.
Yep.
And then just like some balance stuff, and then just like kind of fun stuff as well, like bench press or I don't know, it's something.
Yeah, you do any compound lifts, any double leg compounds or anything like that, squats or deads or?
Yeah, so I'll do like say my early week one, I'd normally do like a double leg and then a single hinge.
Yep.
And then again, like since I was more focused on like general strength and building some muscle, the compound lift would normally be higher weight, probably more sets, but like lower reps.
Yeah.
But grinding those out, and then my single would be like more for reps and just burning it out.
Yeah.
What I really like. And then my like later in the week session would be like a double leg hinge and then a single leg squat variation.
Do you have a preference for your hinge? Do you like what Bulgarian, like Romanians or?
Probably my favorite is just your regular deadlift. I think for like single leg hinge, I just love love but hate just single leg RDLs with dumbbells.
Oh yeah.
My grip strength is like worse than like one of those crappy claw machines.
Yeah.
So even just like trying to hold a good amount of weight for me, and then there's never a morning where you wake up the next morning, you like go to the toilet, sit down, and you're just like, I'm never standing back up. My ass is that sore. Like, it's hard.
Yeah. Do you like straps for your hands?
Yeah, I love straps.
Yeah. Okay.
Too much.
Do you ever use chalk for deadlifts and stuff? Do you ever do like over-under grip with chalk or something like that?
A little bit, but again, it's just so messy, and I've just always kind of just straps, easy, way easy to have. No one at the gym is going to yell at you for using straps.
Yeah.
Especially like just traveling around, you don't always get to go to nice gyms that kind of are all about that.
You just get yelled at for dropping the weights. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. You're just trying to rep 200 and being told you're making too much noise. Please show me someone that can do it quietly, and then I'm more than happy to do it quietly.
Yeah, there's some horrible videos on the internet. I saw a kid once deadlift and the owners come up and like stomped on the bar as he's trying to drive it up, and
really,
you see some horrible stuff, and he's just abusing this kid for doing deadlifts, and he's just don't make it too much noise, get out of here. I'm like, whoa. So
I think Matt Kraveskis was there one during this, and it was like pretty funny. I think I was doing like 60 kilo like cleans, and I think on my last one, and like using proper bumpers, like this gym had proper bumpers, platform, like rubber sides. So it's like, it's what it's made for.
Yeah.
And then like I had a gym guy come over, or not the owner, like a worker, just saying, hey, you can't be dropping the weights. And I was like, they're bumper plates.
Yeah.
They're made for bumping.
Yeah. This is an Olympic platform. This is what this is for.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, I mean, I've never owned a gym before, so I'm sure you've probably got more to say about that. But like, I understand it's expensive and whatnot, but I don't know. It's what it's for, isn't it?
People don't know, mate. I think it's just people don't know. They don't know what they don't know, right? Do you include a lot of Olympic lifting into your workouts, or is it part of your jam? Or
so, not really, to be honest. when I was working in the Victorian Institute of Sport, they were really big on it.
Yeah.
And then I guess, and I liked it, but like I did like hurt my wrist one time doing a clean, and I think it's if you're doing them perfect, there's no risk of, or very little risk of injury.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was working with like KP, so Kurt Picard.
Yeah.
I remember like an early conversation with him. It was like show me kind of, I guess, he's like the risk to reward compared to just doing a high pull. Like, you get that. It is really nice getting that triple extension and then straight back into it.
Yeah.
But the risks of the reward for injury is maybe not there. And I think, again, like when I'm thinking about my own programming, I'm like so lucky that I've worked with so many people over the years. There's some stuff from Jono, who I worked with at Victorian Institute of Sport, that I love some of his gym stuff that I still do, and then there's still stuff from KP that I'll kind of take into consideration, like just whatever works. I do a little bit typically like during off season.
Yep.
Like around pre-season, I think like that like later in the week when I was doing the deadlifts, after my one plyo, I was doing, I think, just some like from the ground snatches and just having to play with it. Because like my form's not great.
Yeah.
So I don't go crazy with the weight or anything, but it's just something different.
Yeah.
Just keep me activated. And I guess I think it's just like a nice whole body warm up before I was doing my deadlifts. So that's the only reason I like doing them.
Yeah, and like you said, there's probably 50,000 other exercises that you could do to get the same effect that, a lot less risky, tweaking your wrist.
100%.
And at the end of the day, mate, you're not an Olympic lifter. So, and like you said, that's a sport in itself, right? So, you're talking about how hard BMX is. Now you're trying to learn a completely different sport to apply that to your training just to get the benefit of, that's the hard thing. And look, I think the thing with Olympic lifting too, right? And this is where the CrossFit argument comes into it. Olympic lifts are designed for one lift. They're not designed for multiple lifts at heavy load. So, if you're there trying to do power cleans or whatever for sixes or whatever the hell it is, it's you got to be careful. I don't include a lot of Olympic lifting because it's a skill in itself, to be honest. So, but like you said, you can hold some dumbbells in your hand and jump on some boxes and probably get just as much out of it, right?
100%. I think look at say Jack Davies though. I believe he competed in youth world championships or something like that. I could be wrong. For Olympic weightlifting, super good, and I think that helps him so much, and that's why he's so strong. On the bike. I guess just got to be able to pick one sport.
Well, I remember Max when he went off to boarding school and started rowing. Remember he came back and his quads were just like bulging out of his pants. He's just been sitting in a rower just for the last 3 years, just rowing, and he just had quads for days. I'm like, holy hell, dude, what's up with your legs? He's just been rowing. I'm like, holy hell. Remember that? They were massive. With this big ass and these big quads, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Max was, always had some big legs.
Yeah, big monster. Is there a go-to in the gym that you do prefer? Like, is there one exercise that you feel crosses over really well to the bike?
I think plyometric, like any jumping. I don't think. I feel if I don't have good, I guess couple plyometrics in my weekly schedule, I really feel it, and that's like I can so I've played a lot over the years. Say not doing any sprints and only doing kind of track and gym or vice versa, and then in the gym only doing this or that, and the times that I haven't done any plyometrics, I've really felt like I struggled in just having that quick twitch, I guess, and bike.
And it's and you'll combine them with a strength day. So if you're, example, going in doing a heavy day, and include your plyos. I like to include them in a warm up as well. Part of my warm up is plyos, and then maybe I'll do some strength exercises and then throw some plyos in at the end just to keep it twitchy.
I think I kind of only from what I've like always learned and been told and looked into, I've always been big on only doing plyometrics when you're fresh.
Fresh. Yep.
But I love doing them. I think there was one guy that had a bit of research and whatnot, and more or less he was showing like some study that they had someone that was doing, let's say, 6 sets of box jumps over once a week, compared to someone that did 1 set of box jumps 6 times a week.
Oh yeah.
And they showed much greater kind of progression.
Yeah.
And so I'm really big on just trying to sprinkle a little bit throughout my week of just that real high neuro. So I was just up at I'm in the Sleeman's car park, and the security guard was beelining for me for a second. I was like, oh no.
We're gonna see a scrap. Make sure you film it if he's gonna have a bit of a scrap. But yeah, that's the whole thing with plyos, right? Is you want to be fresh, and you're teaching your brain to fire rapidly. So if you're hitting them fatigued, you're just not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah. I strongly agree with that.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, that's cool. Hang on, I've got some more stuff for you.
That's good.
So how is the head? I lost you.
Oh, sorry.
You're back. How is your head? So I'd love to go back and talk a little bit about your mindset going into the nationals. Like that's obviously one of the biggest parts of BMX. And it was funny, we were talking to Sam the other day about it. He goes, a lot of the guys on the finals at the nationals, they probably can all lift about the same amount of weight. They're probably powder weight's just the same. Leg speed's probably just the same. It's the mindset that separates riders, right? So how is that going into the nationals, and especially having been so close in the past? And then, how did you go about that? Like, I guess dealing with it in your head before you get to the race.
Yeah, I think for me, I need to be getting on the gate, knowing that I've done everything I can. I think. So I spent a lot of time. I'd say a lot of time. I spent like 2 weeks or a week before nationals in MacArthur, and then I went and visited a couple of weeks prior to that in MacArthur, and that was just so. I guess in the back of my head, I'd ridden the track 100 times, all different conditions. On every straight, I'd gone in like every lane, I guess, just to be able to get that feeling of no matter what happens or whatever, I'm going to feel like I'm right at home. And then I guess, my mindset, like I think over the years, I've found being in like a really calm state helps my kind of like state of flow.
Yep.
So just where I'm kind of able to go through the motions. So as boring and as, I don't know, cringy or whatever it sounds like, I was just, when, I remember it being dark and there was quite a long wait between, we had 3 motos and then straight to the final. We had like a mini warm up in between and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just remember just before I left the tent, I just remember obviously I was really upset after the last nationals, and I think in my head I like to address things and get it sorted and put it don't want any skeletons in the closet or anything like that. And just sat there thinking about all the things I was really grateful for beautiful friends, family. I've had a great time that week. Was just thinking, how great of a week it had been.
Yeah.
And I remember just kind of, thinking that, and then just going, I'm thankful for this life. And then just rode off. And then I was just in that kind of, trance until I was, across the finish line. I was like, probably not till the finish. I reckon it was out of last corner.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fucking don't stuff this up again.
Let's win it first. It's that's right. That's that holy shit moment around the track, right? When you're in front, you're like, dude, I'm in front. It's funny. It's a 30-second race, but it's surprising how much you can actually go through your head in 30 seconds, right? It's like, and you start weighing up ifs and buts, but
And it was like, I think I had the fastest, I don't know if it was the hill, but the fastest, like, first straight time of the week. So I knew and I was super comfortable down the first straight and out the gate. But in the last moto, I think I tweaked the gate, just didn't get over very well. And then I think I ended up getting second behind Josh. So I had like fourth pick for the main.
Yeah.
And then I remember having like kind of those doubt, like just that thought, like, don't get cut off like downhill, like, just those. And then I was kind of maybe being a bit negative. And then I was like, all right, well, let's go lane 8 and you can decide your fate from there. Like, it's a long first straight. Yeah. Whoever's the fastest down the straight is going to be leading into the corner. So it doesn't matter what lane you're in. And then, I was like, probably side on with Josh. But it was just on the outside.
So where's lane 8? Yeah, lane 8's on the outside, right? Coming into the turn. Yeah. But the turn sort of comes back into itself, right? That straight leads back into itself. So lane 8's kind of the middle. You think, or?
I'd say, I think probably lane 2, I'd say, is probably like lane 1 into the corner.
Oh, okay, like straightest, yeah, okay.
But it's not like, it's not it doesn't dogleg that bad, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, it's we do a similar thing, like pretty much just go to your happy place. Like I use past races, like just and it's crazy, right? Nobody sees this sort of stuff. Like nobody sees what riders are going through, but so many riders suffer from, not just anxiety, but like having the ability to lock in. And like I talk to my riders all the time and I just say, well, hey, hang on, let's think about this. Like, when was the last time you were happy at the track? Like, you had a good race, you felt really strong, you got to the finish line, you won. Like, let's think about that day. And then we really focus on having that mindset throughout the whole day. And every time they get negative thoughts, like, no, let's go back to the happy place. Yeah. And, dude, it makes such a difference. Yeah. It really 100%. Does make such a difference just to be in a positive frame of mind all day. And when I was racing myself, I was just, constantly thinking about, like, the day I won the Nationals, man. Like, and this is your fuel, man, for the next, 10 years or however long you're going to race for. It's just like that feeling when you cross the finish line. Like, it gives me goosebumps now. Like, I think about crossing I can still remember it, like, to the T. And this was, 26 years ago when I won. And I still remember it. And then when I'm racing, because I've played that thing in my head so many times at races just to get me going, oh, dude, I remember how that feels. Like, let's do it. And then, like, I get excited now. I'm not even racing. But, like, as soon as I start feeling about that, man, I'm just like, yeah. And then I'm pumped. I want to get back on the gate. So,
And it's funny. Like, I think, I say to, like, a lot of my riders, though, I tell them how, I guess for me, I'm always like thinking of just things that make me happy, really thankful. That's what gets me into my ability to be in my state of flow. But I know, say, when I'm in the gym, like I watched the video of the final from Launceston and at Perth, like millions of times. Like, I'm talking, like, I'd play a certain song on repeat in the gym and I'd just watch it on loop for 10 minutes while I'm on a spin bike, a 30-second race. Just picking out everything. And then, I'd be listening to that song and just, like, I could see the race in my head as I'm getting under the squat rack. And then it's just, like, going crazy from there. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting it.
So fucking, mindset, mate. It's such a powerful thing. And, sorry guys, we just had a quick technical difficulty then. We just had to realign some stuff. I've mentioned it previously. I actually give an audio book to my guys called Own the Game, which is really good. And it sort of goes through a lot of the stuff we were just talking about with mindset and putting your, it's so hard to get your head in the right place for big events and like all that pressure that riders put on themselves and parents and, it's very underrated, the amount of stress that riders go on, that put on themselves when they're on the gate.
100%. It's funny. We were just chatting how I was doing some coaching up New South Wales before I got here to Brisbane. But I was at one of the clinics and we were talking about like belief matrix. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Thoughts, feelings create actions, actions create results.
Yeah.
We're talking about that. And then I just, before I started that, it was, like, all right, hands up, riders. Who in the last, 2 weeks has practiced gates? Almost everyone's hands have gone up.
Yep.
All right, who's practiced manuals? Everyone's hands are up. Who's practiced corners? Corners are always underrated. There's only a couple hands up. All right, who's practiced what they think? And it's just like, oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's, a really, really big, underrated part of BMX, because you hear so many people say, oh, I choke all the time. But it's like, all right, so what have you done to help that?
Yeah.
Did more sprints. It's not going to do shit, buddy.
Well, that's it. And there's a process, like even Sam was talking about. His process started in the pits. Bottom of the hill. Before he even went up to the gate, he's already, he's channeling. He's sort of creating a bit of a mindset and a zone. And like you said, getting into flow before you get up to the gate. He goes, I feel like it's almost organic. By the time I get onto the gate, I'm in a trance almost.
Yeah. It was funny hearing that. It was like he couldn't sit on a certain crack because someone else was sitting on or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm a real big, so probably I need to apologize to a couple of riders over the years. If I'm so during warm up, I'll put my warm down seat somewhere at the finish line or wherever.
Yep.
And if I'm feeling good for warm up, that seat stays there.
Yep.
And if someone else's seat's there, it gets picked up, thrown a couple feet. My seat goes there during racing. And I'm such an ass for it. And then it's funny, if warm up didn't go great, I pick a new spot. And if the first moto, the gate wasn't great or something like that, or something didn't feel good, I'll pick a new spot. And then normally it finds its own happy place, and then, it'll stay there for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But
it's all those superstitions, right? It's like, certain socks or certain shoes, or put your gloves on the right way, or it's, there's a bunch of that stuff out there. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But very underrated. And I think parents need to understand that too. There's so much pressure on there, especially for younger riders, I sort of used to beat myself up as a kid, putting so much pressure on yourself. And at the end of the day, man, it's just a race. It's just a race. And nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. Everyone's so focused on themselves. You're beating yourself up and you say, oh, what about this? What about that? But nobody cares, man. And then next week, everyone's moved on with life. Nobody's even thinking about who won last year or who won last week it's just a race.
Especially for the younger riders, you're like 8 or any amateur class, as horrible as this might sound, no one's going to remember that race but you.
Yeah.
That's in all honesty,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who was a 2005 8 boys national champ.
Nah.
John Smith, or I don't know. I was probably like Bodie. Bodie would probably be around that age. Bodie saying, fuck you, Hayden. That was me. But it was probably someone claiming it. But no one really, no one cares. But
it's
not the whole scheme of life, it's so small. Yeah. And, I tell riders all the time, oh, you're disappointed at one national race. I've gone to 20 of them now. And this was my first title. It's not for everyone. You've got to be able to enjoy the process of, everything that goes on, and whatever happens on race days, it's just the result.
Well, like you said, how many times did you get close to winning the nationals for it to be taken, just snatched away? It's so hard. And then I guess the hardest thing is when you see riders that are just winning them left and right. Oh, he's won another race. He's won another race. He's won another race. It's really hard to win consistently and make sure everything goes to plan. Your nutrition's right, your breathing and your mindset's right. Maybe you just wake up and had a bad sleep. Maybe you just feel tired today. Taking all those things into consideration. The weather, your bike. I popped a tire. Oh, now I've got to play with that. Now my back wheels doesn't feel right, or or your pedal brakes, and now you got to buy new pedals, and now they don't feel right. I got to retighten this one. There's all this little intricate stuff that can come into play just to mess with your head for that split second, and it's just enough to take you out and be half a wheel behind, right, or half a bar behind, or Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the riders that can harness it and turn on that flow, like you were talking about, mate, they're always up the front.
Yeah, 100%. I think like lots of riders around, like of Sam's era, always say, you know, how crazily like professional he was in everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you just saw him absolutely dominate, like say the USA BMX scene for years.
Yep.
You know, on all different tracks, didn't matter what, because he was able to have anything come up and deal with it in his own way.
Well, I think part of international riders moving to America, you're sacrificing a lot, right? You're sacrificing your family. You know, you're sacrificing your whole life here in Australia, friends, family, girlfriends, jobs, whatever you've got. You're sacrificing all that to go race BMX in America, like, you know, and it's easy to get caught up over there, man. It's so much fun. Yeah. It's so easy to just get caught up and have fun and like, it doesn't matter. And like all the Americans, majority of the Americans are like that. We're just having fun. We're just having fun. Yeah. But, you know, you've given up your whole life to be here, man. Like, have a crack. And I think that was Sam's mentality over there. It's just like, man, I'm giving up everything to be here. I'm going to have a go. And we, you know, look at the Australians that have been successful over there. Wade won an ABA title, Kalen, Kammer, Warwick Stevenson, and obviously Sam. Like, there's a lot of Australians that have gone over there and won titles because it's just like, man, we're giving up a lot to be here. So,
yeah, 100%. They're hungry for it.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that was good, man. I appreciate the chat, mate. I'll chop this all up and make sure it sounds good. But yeah, man, it was so good to dig in your brain a little bit and see what makes you